They say that there are greeting cards for every occasion. Birthdays, funerals, bat mitzvahs. But what if the sentiment you're looking for is nowhere to be found? Hey mom and dad, I got dinged with a $250 red light ticket. Or, I've really enjoyed being your roommate for several years, but I'm moving out. Or, Mom, Dad, I've decided to go to art school. Breaking bad news to a family member, friend, roommate, or coworker can be an intimidating task. And if you don't know how to go about it, you just might end up putting it off and worrying about it nonstop. That is where we come in. On this week's Wellcast, we're going to show you our 5-step method for breaking bad news. You ready? Pause and print this Wellcast worksheet. Step 1. Schedule a time to talk and stick to it. If you can, try to schedule the conversation for a time when the other person will have relatively low stress levels. For example, if you're telling your mom that you got a speeding ticket, don't talk to her right when she gets home from work or right before she goes to bed. However, and this is important, don't let the last point allow you to keep postponing the talk. To a certain extent, there will never be a perfect time to tell someone something they don't want to hear. So, whereas maybe putting off that conversation for another hour while your parent cools down is totally reasonable, an excuse like, maybe not today, I don't want to ruin Flag Day for her, is not reasonable. Step 2. Plan out what you're going to say beforehand. Identify in advance what you want to get out of the conversation. Try writing this down on your worksheet. For example, by the end of this conversation, my mom will know that I got a red light ticket. I'll have told her that I'm sorry and that I'll pay for the ticket, and I promise to be more careful in the future. Step 3. Assess the situation for yourself. Listen, here at Wellcast, we're not trying to get you out of getting grounded or not dealing with your problems. If the news that you have is bad simply because your parents don't want to hear it, like you're going to art school, that's one thing. If you're telling your parents that you got a ticket, that's another thing. Sometimes bad news is the result of making a mistake. Other times, bad news is the result of making a change. Before you have this conversation, sit and write down what this experience has meant to you personally. If you've decided to go to art school and your parents aren't going to be happy about it, you should feel good about the decision that you're making, but know why you're making it. And if you ran a red light, well, we know why you ran a red light. You weren't being careful. It's important to be able to express why you made the decision that you made. You always need to plan for the possibility of the other person asking you, why? Step 4. Just do it. Pick a quiet place with few distractions. You want to have full control over the situation. No phones ringing, no people getting involved. You've already written down your objectives and explored why you made the decision you did, so let her rip. Say what you have to say in a straightforward and honest manner. Get to your point in the most sensitive and expedient way possible. Your goal here is to have the other person hear the news, process the news, and then ask, what's next? Step 5, move forward. Let the other person ask the questions. Answer them as openly as you can, and if you have a reason to apologize, do it. If you get to the what's next part, hey, that's a win. Next, find a way to shift the conversation from here's what happened to here's what we can do now. The sooner the conversation becomes a discussion and stops being a confession, the better. To recap, if you're looking at the business end of a difficult conversation, follow our steps. Schedule a time to talk. Write down what you're going to say beforehand. Explore how you feel about the situation. Don't beat around the bush, and make reparations. Tweet us at WatchWellcast, email us at watchwellcast@gmail.com, or leave a comment down below. We'll see you next time.